Grace Tame. This year's Australian of the Year at 15 was groomed and raped by her 58-year-old teacher. Brittany Higgins, former Liberal staffer, was allegedly raped in the Parliament House, the place that was built on the foundation of law and justice for all. Sarah Urbard, a 33-year-old woman who was walking home from a friend's house in a well-lit area at night. Last week, her life was taken and her body was found. Boys, this speech today is different, and it is the hardest one I've ever had to write. Not because it is difficult, but because it is heartbreaking. Too many of my friends, our friends, too many of my loved ones, your loved ones, and too many women around Australia are victims of sexual assault. The narrative needs to change. Because it feels like no matter where we look, this issue is not in the forefront of everyone's mind. But why not? Why is it like this? Because for me, it cuts too close to home. Even my own mother, at the age of 10, against her will, was sexually abused before she learned about the birds and the bees. Are you brave enough to ask your mum about her experiences? What about your sisters? Friends? You shouldn't have to ask women these questions. I wish I grew up in an Australia where the narrative that 1 in 3 women will be physically or sexually abused at some point in their life wasn't true. But it is. Why is it that almost every day we hear of new cases and examples of abuse against women? How can it be that even with all of our money and laws, every day women around our country continue to be abused, raped, psychologically vilified, and denied the basic human rights that most males take for granted? If we are so smart and so enlightened on this issue, as a society, why is it still happening? I see in the news today that a police commissioner is calling for a sexual consult app as a way to now record consent. I understand the good intention that he is proposing, but has our society degraded so far that in this day and age that we are living in, women have to have an app to say no? What you really need is a basic acceptance and respect, and that, boys, is on all of us. Boys, if a woman wants to say no, and she says no, we have to listen, understand, and accept this. This rape culture is so deeply ingrained into today's world, and it needs to be addressed. As good as this message is coming from public speakers or staff, it's up to us, the boys. They need to accept this injustice against women and stand up for what is right. It makes me feel sick, and it makes me feel embarrassed that our school is featured in the testimonies of young women who are victims of sexual assault. I feel so ashamed that this issue is a part of our history and our culture. I feel ashamed when the action of some reflects poorly on us all, but realistically, it isn't just those who are mentioned in the media. If you have ever objectified a woman based on her looks, talked about females in a misogynistic way, or taken advantage without consent, you are part of the problem. Seemingly harmless comments can have such devastating effects. Boys, don't allow yourself to slip into complacent denial by disregarding the seriousness of this issue. Let me tell you the numbers. Every single week, a man kills his partner or former partner. Before the age of 16, 1 in 5 women experience some form of sexual abuse, and 97% of sexual offences are from men. This is not solely an issue of protecting women, but an issue of educating men. Stop being boys, be human. Every person in this room must not just be an advocate for equality, but in our every action and deed, we have to be proactive in stopping the abuse. This starts with putting an end to slurs and derogatory comments about women. It means standing up to any man, no matter how big they are, if we see it happening. And we have to keep our mates accountable, no matter where it may be. Each and every one of us have an obligation to each other to not follow the ways of the past and to take our future on a new path. A path that uplifts and values women for who they are, appreciates their intelligence, strength, and inner beauty, and most importantly, empowers them to live a life where they can walk at night without fear. They can wear whatever they want without judgment, and they feel supported to be themselves, not changed to be anyone different. I am so fortunate to have grown up in a school where I've had strong women role models that have had such a positive influence on my life. To all my friends that are girls, thank you for being so strong. To all the mother figures, especially in the boarding house, Josie and Carlene, thank you for always being there for me. And to all women, I am so inspired by you. To Mum, I hope sharing your story helps boys understand how close this issue really is to home. Love you always, Mason.